Hey everybody, it's Jahmade backing in with Opus Gaming, and I'm here today to bring you guys some Battle Spirit Saga playtesting. This is an in-person match between my friend's really unique purple-yellow control build versus my mid-range red Seagworm Nova deck. The matchup is really interesting, and I think this game does a really good job of showing what yellow can do as a color, and kind of some of the unique advantages that it can get that other colors just can't get. Unfortunately, I had some issues with my camera, so I only was able to get a best of one game for you guys today, but in the future, most of my gameplay is going to be best 2 out of 3. But before we get into the gameplay and all the good stuff, if you guys have been seeing my content and you're not subscribed, drop a sub down below. We're on our way to our first 1,000 subscribers, and when we do get to 1,000 subscribers, we're doing a pretty big giveaway for different items in every single game that you guys see on the channel. So it's all of Bandai's card games. So for Battle Spirit Saga specifically, we haven't announced the spicy stuff that we're giving away, but it's going to be some pretty top tier stuff. So I'm really excited to get it to you guys. But that's enough about the channel. If you guys are just here to support, don't forget, leave a like, leave a comment. But let's get into the match right now. Alright, getting through the early stages of the game, just doing them all again and picking who's going first and all the good stuff. We're doing an evens odds roll here, so we only have to roll the dice one time. On the red Seagworm side, you really want to start off with like a Nexus and a Spirit, early game Spirit, as well as obviously on the yellow side too. So both of us keep our hands, both of us draw for not mulliganing, and we start the game. So red's going to be going first, and here we play out the TerraNova, and the reason that we're going to go with him first is because we want to put a Spirit out as opposed to playing a Nexus out. Even though the Nexus will get us more advantage over the long term, playing the Spirit, we're practicing like we're going into this blind. Even though I know what my opponent's playing, in a tournament setting where I don't know what my opponent's playing, you always play the Spirit first, just in case you're playing one of those strategies that just is all focused on swinging out on turn 1 if your opponent doesn't have a Spirit on the board. So getting in the habit of that, of setting up the Spirit before the Nexus, is really good habit to get into. On the yellow side, we just slam down the Blessed Cathedral, which is a start for a lot of yellow decks, and then we're going back over to my side. I'm going to opt to play the Volcanic Canyon on this turn since we didn't get to on the first turn, and here we're going to get some damage in, so we're going to push our opponent down to 4 and just kind of pass turn here. We do have like the extra core. I guess it's not really an extra core, but we have the core on the Volcanic Canyon right now just because we didn't have any like low spirits to drop here. We'll see him bring down the Flying Turtle. Flying Turtle is going to fly in the Calamity Beast from the starter deck, and then we're also going to go straight into the vanilla 2-drop. So establishing some 2-drops, getting some cards in hand, some hand advantage, and then going to be setting up to get his Blessed Cathedral to pop off and get him a lot of cores to go into the late game here. So we'll see Airvital come down as well. Even though there's no spirits in the trash, as long as I go into battle before I pop anything with like Burning Force, he's pretty safe with this play. So now that he's established as well, I won't be able to flood the board and push like 3 damage right away. So going into the Volcanic Canyon, we get the draw, and then picking what to discard here. Yep, getting the free discard, just an extra card. Picking what you have to discard is definitely a skill with the red deck. Knowing what cards you can afford to Volcanic Canyon and which ones you can is definitely something that I've just like learned over just repetition of playing this deck, because it is very susceptible to your game state. Here I'm really mulliganing over whether I want to bump my Spirit's attack power so he can't block with the Airvital early and just get an early trade for the easy ramp, or if I want to keep it at 2k, force him to block with Confront and then just give him the ramp anyway, but preserve my Spirit and get my draw for his level 2 effect, just because I don't have enough cores here to bump it up the 1 level and keep it at 5k. So it's gonna be a little bit rough, but we're gonna attack out with all of our creatures on this turn for sure, all of our Spirits. We'll set the Absolute Ice Shield that I had, and the reason that we're setting that as opposed to waiting for a Starblast draw is just because we haven't seen one yet. And yellow has a very aggressive package in it where you can just a couple Royal Potions and you're dead on turn whatever, you know, so as long as they see it. So I really don't want to fall into that trap. So we get the Absolute Ice Shield down. We'll just plan on using all of our Starblast draws as +1s through this matchup to just get general advantage. Here we are mulling through his board, but he's just going to float, so he sacrifices the Flying Turtle on the first attack. The second attack he absorbs with Airvital, which will bring back the Flying Turtle. Flying Turtle will mill a card, and now he's just still sitting on 2 Spirits when he started off with 3, so pretty good. Didn't lose any life either. Going into his next turn, he gets a draw, or core step, draw step, and now restand step. Deciding what he wants to do for turn. Here he has the option to push damage, but I think he just wants to continue to build a wall. Yeah, so we see a second Airvital come down here, and that's a little bit rough for us because now we're just seeing him have a whole bunch of floaters that are +1 on his ramp every single turn. So he's setting up a very strong board here. Hippocampo comes down so he can recover some of the life that he didn't even lose last turn. And then we're gonna go in for life here. I don't have any flash speed cards here, so we're just gonna end up letting him take the damage. No flash on either side, go straight to the damage step. And then he recovers the life and leaves everything else standing, so that's a really good play on his part. He also has his Hippocampo at 4k, so I'm not able to Burning Force it. Going into the extra draw with Volcanic Canyon, getting an extra discard in. And deciding what I want to do here. We do have the Big Bang Energy in hand, but still deciding what we want to do with it. I don't think we've seen yeah, we don't have a Nova in hand, so we can't clear his board or anything of the sort. Yeah, we will Burning Force. We can't hit this super important card, but we will actually just Burning Force the Cathedral, which is actually way more important in this game state, so. That absorbs all of our extra cores for the turn, so we won't have a lot of extra to play with, but we'll swing, pay the core, we'll get the extra draw, and then force him to confront. And then swing with the 6k again, a little bit too big, so we're going to kill the air attack, get the flying turtle. Flying turtle is going to get a little bit of advantage, but mill out a Burning Force, which is unfortunate, and then go back to his turn. So he's +1 one time with the flying turnip, but the other two have been mills, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he's +2 times, but here we're going to see Calamity Beast come down. This card's really great in the attack step. He doesn't even have to attack. He's going to boost all your 2-cost spirits by like 2k, I believe. And when he does get a chance to attack, he's just going to restand everything. So now, now the yellow player really gets to be in the driver's seat for the aggro. So, especially because he's not afraid of dying really anytime soon. He hasn't seen an absolute ice shield, so that's the only thing that I have going for me. Oh, we see the flying turtle swing, so that's kind of nice. Yep. And then here he doesn't want to fully go in, but he does swing here to get the restand on the flying turtle. And that's the perfect time to swing here. You don't get the swing with the second vanilla because you don't want to get locked out of your turn with an ice shield. So you swing with the Calamity Beast, you get your restand so you have your blockers, and then that's how he ends his turn. Going back into my turn, I did have to ice shield there because I would have pretty much just died if I didn't have it. And we're just going to go Volcanic Candy, get the extra draw, and refresh. Here, I have to do some work on his board, that's for sure. That's kind of the biggest thing that I have to do is bring down the board and see if I have more ways to set up. We're going to start off with a Star Blast draw because I don't have enough cards in hand. We do see the other Absolute Ice Shield, so that changes our gameplay to being able to be fully aggressive still with our spirits, which is definitely a saving grace because we have to try to even up the game state. So we'll set the Ice Shield right away. And even in that situation, right, using the Star Blast draw right away was just better because we got the resources right away instead of possibly getting walled out by our opponent. So here we're thinking though, like, am I going to use this Burning Force? Am I going to summon another spirit? Am I going to bump my spirits up to try to make them stronger? I really can't actually at this point. So just really deciding on if I have the resources to put a third body on the board or if I need to kind of focus on what I have. So we do slam down the Bearded Eagle, and the reason that we're going to do that is just so that we for sure don't spend any cores while also building a board for ourselves. So, and then we swing with Confront, swing with Dinoman, and we do swing with the Bearded Eagle. We're able to swing with everything just because we have that Ice Shield. So we'll wall our opponent out with an Ice Shield, we'll pay the cores off of our extra spirits at the right time and just kind of end out their battle step. But here, you could have left the Bearded Eagle up to fight the Hippocampo, so it's not so easy for the Hippocampo to swing and recover one, but I really wanted to make sure I was just full tilt getting as much advantage as I could or get as much leverage on his life as I could because I need to be the aggressor. We see another Blessed Cathedral come down, but he's ramped so much that barely impacts how many cores he has. He probably has similar amount of cores left to what I started with at the start of my turn, so he's really far ahead in the core advantage war. See another Airvitar come down, which is an amazing floater. It's just going to float into another level 2, so it's basically 2 bodies in 1. And yeah, we're going to enter battle, so we're going to get that free recovery here. And I'm 100% forced to just Absolute Ice Shield here. I really can't even burn the extra resources on like a Burning Force or any other Flash Step cards because I don't have enough cores in general. So we Ice Shield out. We shorthand it here just for anybody watching from home. So for example, we'll pay 3 off Bearded Eagle and 1 from the Terrasaur, and then recover the 1 that he did the damage from. So going straight into our next turn, we core step. We're going to do the draw step, discard step, and then refresh. So we get our spirits back here. We don't have an absolute ice shield in hand. So now that we're not chaining those absolute ice shields, we're in a completely different board state where we kind of do have to focus a little bit more on defense. I do have to like want to out aggress his board, or else he's just going to keep recovering. So attacking on this turn is actually going to still be important, but we'll see what we do. Here you're going to see one of my techs, one of my favorite techs for my Nova deck, which is going to be Librarian. Librarian Saga is really nice because it lets you juggle your soul core around. So like I can put the soul core on Terrasaur, get the draw, swing with Librarian after, boost her, put the soul core into my reserve, and then use the soul core defensively for suppression. And if I suppression on the Librarian or on the Saga is going to bounce that soul core back and get plus 6k during that turn, and I still have an extra core to play defensive cards or flash speed cards. So really like the Saga here. And you're going to see me do just that. So I'm going to swing with the Terrasaur, pay it, draw, swing with the Saga, get the core back. She'll jump up from, I believe she's at 3k right now, so she'll jump to 6. So she's a little bit annoying to block. It's not like he's going to get a free trade and a free summon. And he'll just have to lose out here on a spirit, but it's not like he's really losing out because he floats into another spirit and he gets a core. So checking his grave to see if it's even worth it. Maybe he'll just take the damage here. Because he doesn't have that many spirits in his hand to float out and keep attacking, but it's worth it. Yep, Airvital die. We're gonna bring out, yep, just the vanilla this time. We're not gonna go for trying to get the free advantage from oh, now his name's Flying Turtle. There we go. And the reason that we do that is just because he wants to wall out my attacks. He wants to summon a really big creature that with all 4 or 5 cores on it. I believe he's around 4k, 4 or 5k. So at that point, I just pass turn and it goes back over to yellow side. Here we're kind of just juggling, deciding what to do. We do have the Calamity Beast on board still, which is huge. So that means that he can just float out a bunch of powerful level 2s. Put a good amount of cores on them, swing with them. If they trade, or they probably won't trade because they'll be boosting an additional 2k from the Calamity Beast. And then he'll just get the swing in. We have no burst set, so he knows that there's probably not an absolute ice shield that we have access to unless it comes down to flash speed on the first swing. But altogether, it's a pretty good setup on the yellow player side to aggress in. So here he's kind of just deciding. We see the Flying Turtle is going to hit that other Burning Force, which is unfortunate for him because he just hasn't had access to Burning Force in a situation where he can just get rid of my blockers. And we're actually just going to really decide on what to do here and decide to use the last of our cores, the last of our extra cores to use Starblast Draw. He needs to get into enough spirits to close out the game because he's kind of low on cards in hand, and he can't fully rely on the Starblast Draw because if or not the Starblast Draw, but the Blessed Cathedral, because if I decide to not attack and wall him out and go wide, then he just misses out on the advantage. So he burns the cards there, gets the 2 draws so he can get deeper into his deck, so that if he's not able to finish me out on this turn, he can at least burn enough resources because he has a board set up. Calamity Beast is huge. Hippocampo possibly being able to get some damage in on this turn too is really big. We'll see what we do here. So we're entering combat here. We're gonna swing with the Flying Turtle. Flying Turtle is going to start off, and I'm just going to think right away. Yep, I'm asking him about the Calamity Beast because I'm assuming I have a flash speed right here to try to hit it right away. I'm not sure if it's Volcanic Break, or I did see a white card, so maybe it's a Dream Bomb. Dream Bomb's nice because I have the extra core from the Saga, and Saga also reduces it by 1, so now I'm only paying 4 cores, so the 1 extra from the Saga, the Soul Core, a couple off the Saga, and that's going to be the 4 to bounce the Calamity Beast before it gets the chance to attack and restand everything. And I don't know if I block here. Nope. We just chain. We're just using flash speed. So we're going to bounce the flash back to our opponent. He's going to say no flash. Then we're going to go back into our flash step and flash Burning Force. Burning Force is going to pop the attacker and 1 more that is under 4k here. So we're going to get out of 2 attacks, which is really fantastic. And really wall our opponent out while also staying on 2 life. So we do have to sacrifice our Terrasaur so that we're not in range for our opponent to just swing through our Bearded Eagle. Bearded Eagle is the biggest card that we have on the board to wall our opponent out of deciding whether or not they want to attack here. So having that up at 5k is way more important than having the extra Terrasaur, and we've drawn like 4 cards from him. So Terrasaur's done his duty, he's just got to go at this point. So we're a little bit desperate. Going into our the end of our turn, we end up passing here. or he ends up passing, sorry, and it goes back over to our turn. We're just chatting about a couple rulings and just kind of like the game state that we're in right now. So here I'm in the exact same position that he was just in, where I'm searching for enough spirits to try to close out the game, because he once again doesn't have a burst set, and I'm really mulliganing over, can I pitch this Dream Bomb? Do I have enough like life and cards in hand to just play out all these Star Dragons with this Big Bang energy I have in hand? And I think I do have enough Star Dragons in hand to like make an impact on the board, but I don't think I have enough Star Dragons in hand to end the game, so we'll see. Yep, so Big Bang energy is going to be the first thing we see come down. We see Seagworm come down for free because, or I'm sorry, this is Nebula. Nebula is going to come down for free. It's going to pop Cathedral, and then we're going to bring down a Seagworm right after, because all of my Star Dragons for the turn are reduced. So Seagworm's also going to be free, and we can just slap cores down on everything and make everything strong. Yep, and then he's just asking the question about how Big Bang energy works basically, and it lasts for the duration of the turn. Looking through my hand here though, I don't have quite enough spirits to just slam down. Like, I think I see a Bearded Eagle. Yeah, slam down a Bearded Eagle, do what I can with it, put 2 cores on that, and just kind of distribute the rest of the cores elsewhere. Bring everything up to level 2, so they're at least pretty powerful spirits when it comes down to like attacking and defending. And here we're going to enter combat. We're going to swing with Confront right away. Force him to block with the Hippocampo. He gets his ramp because of Cathedral. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he doesn't, because Cathedral got popped. And we're just swinging through his board here. So swinging through the board. He doesn't have Confront here. So actually, he has enough life to not sacrifice his board. And he's really focusing on ending the game on the next turn. So he's going to let all these attacks go through, knowing that if he has any flashes in hand, that he'll just use that on the last couple attacks, but knowing that if I turn everything sideways, he's gonna try to just go in on my life here, because I can't set an absolute ice shield after I enter combat. So he's taking as much life as he can afford to handle, or can afford to take, and I'm swinging as many times as I think that I can to kind of scare him into trying to block. But ultimately, I get the last swing in. I have to leave 2 blockers up. I should probably have left 3 up ultimately, but we'll see. So yep, and this is the turn. So you see just right away, he got a card off draw. Flying Turtle comes down and gets another advantage, and the card comes down right away. And we're slamming hand from here. Everything's yellow, so it's going to be mostly yellow spirits coming down. So we got 3 reduction on Calamity Beast. I've been calling it Calamity Beast in my friend group for so long. I really hope that's the name. I haven't checked the name on that card in a little while, but Alice comes down. Alice is actually a really big problem, because now Alice is going to swing, remove a blocker, and I am just that deeper in the hole. So just thinking about his turn here. Yep, swing Alice. Effect to minus like 5k. Yep, 5k on the Dinoman, because he's not treated as level 3 anymore. Dies right away. We got Bearded Eagle chilling. And I don't even know if I want to deal with this Alice swing right away. And I kind of want access to as many cores as possible in case I have flashes. But no, we're just going to flash for 4 the Dream Bomb. We'll bounce the Calamity Beast again to cut the amount of attacks that he has down more drastically with that bounce. But he still has a super aggressive turn here, and then we end up taking the damage. And then he just has 3 cards to turn sideways with 1 damage to do. So I've burned a lot of Burning Forces at this point too, so it's not like he's really scared of getting 2 for 1 with Burning Force. So we'll block here and then trade, or it just dies, and he just turns his last card sideways, and that's just enough aggression. I did not have enough defense and cards in hand to kind of play the long game. That Hippocampo coming in really made a really big impact on like whether or not I was able to go for game. So another fantastic card. I think the Fabled Beast engine is so strong, and we actually saw over this past weekend that it performed fantastically for everybody that seemed like they played it. So the Battle Spirit Saga meta is shaping up to be really, really cool. I'm excited to go play in my locals. I know that my deck is super unique, and it's not something a lot of people are playing. I know my friends' decks are super unique as well. So it's just lots of players kind of just, you know, big braining the game, having a lot of fun with the game, and it's really fun to be in right now. So if you guys like this type of content, leave a comment down below. Let me know that you guys enjoy it. But this is me, Jahmade with Opus Gaming. I'm out. Take care, guys.